So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Roma Theory as the KARSDORP against Mourinho situation escalates even more. We have a full-on, 100% tension maximized situation because KARSDORP does not present himself and does not respond to Jose's call-up after this small holiday which the players had during this World Cup break. Now, what is the situation going on? So basically, the team is leaving tomorrow for Japan. They're going to go to Japan for a week to train during this World Cup period. And then I believe they're returning to Portugal for another week. But they're leaving for Japan tomorrow. And obviously the team had to get back training yesterday. And apparently over the course of yesterday's day, Mourinho and KARSDORP were actually supposed to have a one-to-one, kind of meeting to actually discuss things. And it's fair to say that it was supposed to be the first meeting, the first one-to-one that Jose and KARSDORP had after this little incident. And KARSDORP obviously did not present himself to training sessions. God knows where KARSDORP is right now. Because if we trace this back, before the Torino game, the morning of the Torino game, seen that Mourinho did not give a call up to KARSDORP, KARSDORP actually left Rome with his family and went to the Netherlands. So the big question is KARSDORP in Rome? Or has KARSDORP officially abandoned this city and obviously saying no to any call-up which Jose Mourinho has given to him? So the rest of the teams, or the rest of the players, are back training. They got back training yesterday, obviously apart from the 4 players which are in Qatar, which are Dybala, Viña, Zalewski and Rui Patricio. Everyone else should have stepped back in training sessions yesterday. They've had a little week to refresh, to refrain. But obviously, KARSDORP was missing. And this is a clear signification, a clear meaning that KARSDORP is done with Roma, and that seeing KARSDORP's reaction to this, basically there is now a really low chance that we will see Mourinho even change his plans. It was already hard for a manager such as Mourinho to change maybe his game plan with KARSDORP after what he said to him after the Sassuolo game. It's even harder for us to see Jose even trying to reintegrate KARSDORP after him not presenting himself to training sessions. The big question, which I'm very curious to see, if there will be a one-to-one before KARSDORP officially leaves. Because if KARSDORP is a loyal player, and this kind of links to what we were saying in the last live stream, KARSDORP had some severe family problems. His son had kidney problems, and Roma kind of agreed to pay a large percentage of his medical checkups, of his medical cures. And in return, KARSDORP had to show a good attitude on that football pitch. And this is something which KARSDORP hasn't done. So if KARSDORP is loyal to this, before him officially leaving, he will actually go and speak with Mourinho and have a little discussion, say goodbye to the players and then leave. If KARSDORP is a harsh bitch, then KARSDORP does not come back to Rome and doesn't say anything to Jose and leaves his players with a big high five missing. So that's definitely another step which other teams which are interested in KARSDORP will definitely be looking at. Because the next step which KARSDORP does is not important to Jose anymore. Because to Jose and us, he's done. But it's important for his future steps of his career. Because teams which are interested in him are going to see how this situation ends. And if KARSDORP does not, even if he knows it's officially done, even if he knows there's no part of Jose reintegrating him in the team, if KARSDORP is a loyal human being, he will get back in Rome for wherever he's from in the world right now, get back to Trigoria, say goodbye to Mourinho, because let's not forget, he won a trophy with Mourinho last season. So if he's loyal, he gets back to Trigoria and says farewell to Jose and to the players. And if he does, then that clearly means that other players are getting a loyal player. If he doesn't do that, then I wouldn't be surprised if Karsdorp's football career now gets completely revolted. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out why. I mean, obviously, if you're a player, you don't like being destroyed by your manager. That's definitely something which has caught Karsdorp apt, and this is any player and any manager. If you're a player, you do not like your manager speaking bad about you. And that's just the psychological factor of human beings. That's not just Karsdorp and Mourinho. That's Trent and Southgate. That's me and my biology teacher. No one wants someone else to speak bad about him. And especially you don't want to hear that publicly out loud, and everyone knows that you're the nemesis right now. Everyone knows that Karsdorp is the enemy right now. So that's definitely something to point out. Karsdorp is definitely not happy about this. But I think what's the real clinching piece of evidence of this is that Karsdorp, it took Karsdorp out of surprise. Because don't get me wrong, there are players which kind of, at the end of the day, they kind of get it. I'll give you an example. Nainggolan, you do one thing and nothing happens. You do another bad thing and nothing happens. The second you do a third bad thing, then you know that the manager will kind of catch you in 4K, and that will lead you to you leaving the team. I think what is the real clinching piece of evidence of this Karsdorp situation is that Karsdorp wasn't expecting this. Now, Mourinho definitely started to acknowledge that something changed in Karsdorp's mindset since the end of last season, the start of this season. But Karsdorp, got caught out of surprise because he definitely was not expecting Mourinho saying those things out of nowhere. And again, I think it's this thing of him being caught out of nowhere that has really made him absolutely furious. Now, again, I think no one here should fall on... I mean, you see, because we should look at this situation from the background. Because at the end of the day, yes, you see, right now Karsdorp is the enemy, but we don't really know what happened other than the interview which Jose said. So I think, obviously, remove toxic elements from your changing room without a doubt. But I am going to stick with what I said immediately after this Karsdorp interview, is that I do think that, and this is my personal opinion, everyone thinks it how you want. I do think it would have been better to keep this situation private. And that's just because my big fear is one thing. Now, Roma has professional players. Everyone who plays football on high levels is a professional player. But at the end of the day, we don't have 100% mentality mindset guys in our changing room. We have good but average players. Therefore, what my fear is right now is that elements in this changing room are gonna start playing in different sides. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean by, imagine someone like let's pick someone out of nowhere. Imagine Ibanez was Karsdorp's best friend, was absolutely his best friend, and Ibanez sees what is happening to Karsdorp. Then what my fear is that Ibanez starts going against Jose. And that's the bad thing of this being publicly out loud. The good thing about this being said publicly out loud by Jose is that it influences other players to not make this own mistake. Because we can all agree that after this incident, KARSDORP's football career is not going to be the same. Other players don't want to fall in the same black hole as KARSDORP did. Because they know that if Jose has a problem with you, he's going to say it to the world. And that will cause you problems. So the thing of saying it publicly out loud has positives. It does also has negatives, in my opinion. The biggest fear right now, again, with a manager like Jose, who's experienced to manage so many teams, so many players, so many good professional mentality players, it's going to be hard for this to happen. But I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation that we didn't have Jose on the bench. The hypothetical situation, if we wouldn't have Jose on the bench with this exact same reconstruction, is that players would have taken their own sides. And I mean by, if Ibanez was KARSDORP's best friend, he would have gone against the manager. And if Pellegrini, who was KARSDORP's worst friend, would have gone against KARSDORP. And now that KARSDORP's against the team, they all have disputes about this KARSDORP situation. So again, that's my fear. I'm not saying it happened, but that's what we have to avoid, because because we would look like morons if this little situation involving a player, which could be said as a useless player because he isn't even a good player, would destroy your changing room. So, that's what I'm saying. But again, we're not saying goodbye to a world-class player. We're saying goodbye to KARSDORP, who can easily be replaced. He can also easily be replaced without buying anyone from the transfer market. Anyone, anyways, just if we don't spend money on a KARSDORP substitution, then all we do is get someone from the academy team. Look at Zalewski. So, and he plays on the other side. See? So we're not saying goodbye to Paulo Dybala. We're saying goodbye to Rick KARSDORP. And I think the next following events, seeing what KARSDORP does to this, will be very important. Now, the next step will be tomorrow to see if anything happened in these last hours. Therefore, if Jose, out of nowhere, out of Harry Potter world, decided to give KARSDORP a call up for the Japanese tour. If that happens, then it's dumb from Jose, because KARSDORP has proved to you that he is a toxic element. So leave him out. I think there could have been a chance of seeing KARSDORP fly to Japan with the team if he presented himself to the training session yesterday. He didn't. Therefore, what are the chances of seeing him tomorrow on the plane flying to Tokyo? They are very, very low. On the other hand, let's end this stream on a positive note. Ola Solbakken has landed in Rome today. Medical checkups in these next couple of days. Signature on that contract in these next couple of days. However, he cannot fly to Japan because he's technically still linked with Bodo Glimt until the 31st of December. So he can sign, he can do everything he can in these medical checkups in these next couple of days. But until the 31st of December, unfortunately, I do not think, prove me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, sorry, I don't think Ola Solbakken could become a Roma player because he's still under the Bodo contract. But he's landed in Rome today, and that means that he will become a new player very, very soon. Right, let me read some comments about this situation, which is kind of leading to the end. I don't expect any other updates on KARSDORP, especially with a harsh manager like Jose. You don't step up the training sessions, you're done. I could have given you one last chance. You've bottled it, so you're off. It's not a big deal. He's an average player making noise. True. Can't be wrong with that. Let the guy go, man. We don't want any disruptions. For Jose to call out KARSDORP publicly, then something drastic really happened. KARSDORP is not Roma. There are really some players waiting. This may have been strategic on Jose's part. He knows calling out a player to the press is embarrassing for them to the point that they have no choice but to demand the transfer. That's what I'm kind of following as well. I think Roma backed Jose 100%. Oh yeah, and we've clearly seen this. We've clearly seen this. Yeah. Was there a physical assault on the manager? I've heard nothing about that. I haven't heard anything about that. So, hopefully there weren't. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, first World Cup live watch along on the channel. France against Australia tomorrow evening. So come back, it's World Cup time. So live watch along tomorrow. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Please, please, please. We're like 50 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers. Smash that red button down below. Smash the like button. It supports me so much. And share the link of this video with your families and friends. And let me know in the comments your final comment on this KARSDORP situation. And I will catch you very, very soon. Simon out.